Mm-hmm. Hello, testing, 1, 2.
Hello, testing, 1, 2.
Okay, fantastic. We are ready to do this. I haven't done this in so long. Okay, okay. Alrighty. Alright, alright. I've got this. Ooh. Scary stuff. A little bit scared, not gonna lie. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Hello guys, it is me, AssassinAJ05 here, back for another video. No, that's not how I do it. 3, 2, 1. Hello guys, it is me, AssassinAJ05 here, back for another video. And today, no, I can't do it anymore. How do I do it? I can't do my intro, I need help. I can't do it. It's a longer hello. Thank you. Hello guys, it is me, AssassinAJ05 here, back for another video. And today, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one. Is that the one? I feel like that's the one. I'm a bit sick too, which doesn't help. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Alright. We got it this time. This time for sure. Okay. Hello guys, it is me, AssassinAJ05 here, back for another video, and today we are back in StealthCraft. We are exploring the ruins of StealthCraft. So basically, I thought to make my return to YouTube, I will be doing a tour of what remains of the infamous StealthCraft. Now, StealthCraft was a long time ago, and it is not coming back. I do want to make that clear, it is not coming back, but I still want to explore it. So, a lot of things are broken, as you can tell by this very clear update block, and the textures missing, like item frames used to be invisible, and that used to be an Assassin Age 05 head, but a lot of things have broken due to age, due to time, and due to the fact that I do not have them enabled. So we'll be going through this busted ruins. But yeah, let's have a look around. So I'm hoping to give like a bit of a story about a few different things and just like go through it all, because we spent a lot of time here. So obviously there was Mr. Assassin's office, which was where I spent a lot of my time. It was a lot of time spent here. Many secret rooms, like I don't remember how to get there, but I know there's like a secret room under here, which was a secret room, I guess. And lots of just, yeah, interesting stuff. But yes, let's start our exploration over here. So this was the staff meeting room. I don't know why we did this. We didn't really do meetings. Like, our meetings were literally announcements in chat, but we used to have our meetings in here, and it was just kind of like a quirky little thing. This used to play Particles. Obviously, it doesn't anymore because we don't have the packs. I'm pretty sure this was Demonized chair. This was obviously my chair. I think this was Matt's, maybe. Casuans? I don't know. It's been so long. But wow, it is just remarkable to go through these. And then there was just these rooms that I built for some reason. I don't know why. I think I just wanted an excuse to make secret rooms. And I'm pretty sure in here there was another secret room. Yeah. And it was just interesting stuff. We were a bit quirky. We did a bit of weird things. It was kind of like that thing of kind of like, I want this to be a fulfilling and interesting experience for everyone involved. Also, excuse my voice, I am a little bit sick, so I may sound it. Now, this was Ollie's office. Ollie was one of our really original staff members. It was very... He was my second co-owner, I believe. But he was a pretty important part of StealthCraft. Like, I remember he wasn't on too often, but he definitely was a bit of an inspiration for me to keep going with StealthCraft for a while. Oh yeah, that used to look like him. Obviously it doesn't anymore. Yes, that was a long time ago at this point. What is that? Oh, the lights. I didn't really explore his office. It's been a long time. Obviously over there is Spawn 1.0, but we'll get into that. We've got a lot of time here. Now, this video will be unedited, completely natural in a way. Troublesome. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep this raw footage for yous. What is this? To-do list and more. Oh yes, I remember he had a little bit of a to-do list going on because I gave him a few tasks. Wow, this is also like memories for me because obviously this has been a while for me. I remember we had issues with this bed. Some people would escape spawn and sleep in this bed and set their spawn points. Oh, I remember that. This is so fascinating to me, going back over all this stuff. I'm reliving my childhood at this point. Now, just about the future, I do want to make videos again. It's just a matter of time and just the ability to do it. Like, I am a very busy person, IRL, and that just makes it a bit harder to make videos, and I feel like it's unfair for me to keep coming back and making a video and saying I'm going to be more active, but then not be active for like 3 months. Now, this steak was from Billy the Warp Room Cow. It did have a sign, but we had a glitch with Realms for a while where signs wouldn't display. But in our little warp room over there, we'll get to that. We had Billy, and he was just a cow. And one day I killed him, so I put that there. Nothing fancy. Like, we just had weird little quirky things. This was... Oh, this office changed hands so many times. This office was originally a Lazy Panda's office, I'm pretty sure. And it was like pretty much a direct copy of my office. But then it changed hand to... Oh, I forget what his name was back then. But I think his name now is like Killing Spree or something. But I think it used to be like Void, maybe? It's been so long. But then, obviously, they all left or they had issues, so it became Matt 383's second office. Over here was Demon Eye's office. I really liked this office, actually. I wish he did more with it, but it was kind of like a quirky little thing of, like, sort of... Kind of gives me very medieval, sort of cottage kind of vibes. Very nice in that way. If I remember correctly, he has, like, a sign on the bed, yeah. Wow. So... I know to you guys this might be boring, but we'll get to the more interesting stuff soon. But wow, this is just my childhood. That used to be an Assassin Age 05 head because I liked the whole quirk of just like I'm always watching. There you can see some of the redstone for some of my secret rooms. Now, a lot of people have asked if StealthCraft will ever be like available, like as a map, and the answer is no, it won't be a downloadable map. StealthCraft is kind of like my history, and it's kind of private in that regard that I kind of don't want to kind of allow people to kind of modify that or change that or exploit that in a way. It's like I don't want people to be able to be like, "Ooh, I will use this as my own." Because I know that happens a lot in the Minecraft community, and it's really terrible. This was Pixel GA's office, if I remember correctly. Now, Pixel GA, we had fun. Pixel GA and Pro Chomper Boy, they were infamous in the StealthCraft stuff, but I don't know, they were cool. I liked them. They gave me a lot of hassle back in the day because they found every single way to exploit out of the maps and out of the mini games. But they were actually really helpful in a way that it kind of like let me realize different strategies and different glitches and ways to prevent that. And it's still stuff that I use to this day. I sometimes help my friends out with maps that they have, and I'm like, hey, boats can go through structure voids. And yeah, it was actually very helpful. I got a bit angry at them a lot in the past because it was like, so frustrating, but I did actually really appreciate them. Now, this was Timing Fawn and Red X Argyle's office. That's a parrot I killed. But yeah, they had their hug list, which was a kill list pretty much. But yeah, they were the first staff to combine their offices together to create like a big office, and I thought that was pretty cool. They had like little meeting rooms, and they kind of went for like a whole house kind of vibe. They had lots of plans of things they wanted to do for this, but ultimately they left and moved on to other things. Honestly, that's the difficulty with doing like a Minecraft realm is that obviously Minecraft is a game and people eventually get lives and they kind of move on. They get busy. Like when you work full time, you don't really have time to play Minecraft all the time, or the little time you do have, you spend it doing other things like playing games or watching movies or other stuff like that. Like you don't have the time to sit and just play games as much as you want to. Like obviously you want to like hang out with your friends and do all that cool stuff, but it gets a lot after a while. But yeah, I do appreciate the people who do keep doing it though. I understand that's a um bit bit of a way some people cope with things, but yeah, I personally couldn't. After a while I was like, man, I can't keep doing this StealthCraft. Which is kind of the what reason StealthCraft stopped. It was kind of like a matter of burnout and expectations set too high. Like we had lots of amazing things planned for StealthCraft, and we were getting them done, but it was a matter of people's expectations of us were too high because we set them too high. We were like, oh, we're gonna do all these cool mini games and these amazing things, but um, people were like, these need to be done now, and obviously we couldn't have them done that quickly. We needed time to do it, and it kind of got to a burnout point of like people are expecting too much of us too quickly, and we can't keep up with them. And then there's other servers that are doing it quicker because they have lots of staff involved, and we set this unrealistic expectation of how quality content should be, so we don't allow other staff to do things because their stuff isn't as meet our quality, so it's a slow burning process. It's like if you have a fire that's burning really well, but then you put heaps of logs on it and you don't restart the fire, you just try to burn those logs with that same smothered fire. I don't know. That's my analogy. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, this was Naxton's office. It never got finished, but then it became Arcade Tide's office. Oh yeah, that's right. I put little command blocks in here for griefers because we had a lot of griefers, lots of stuff like that because we got really popular all of a sudden and had lots of hackers joining us. Um, oh yeah, that's right. This was Link's office. Link, wow, I haven't heard of Link in ages. Yeah, and they Link and Delta combined their offices because this is Delta's office over here. Wow, okay, having a lot of good memories here. If I remember correctly, Delta has a thing over here. Yeah, that's right. A lot of the staff liked having their little secret areas. It's very cool. What block is this? Glowing obsidian. Oh, glowing obsidian looks so cool in this texture pack. I didn't know that must be new. They must have changed that recently because it didn't look like that before. That's sick. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Oh, and that used to be Delta's face, I believe, in the old texture pack. So, yeah. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I've missed this. Like, occasionally I get like the little energy and I'm like, ooh, I want to bring back StealthCraft. But it's not the StealthCraft that I want to bring back, it's the community. I loved the community. I loved talking to people. I loved being able to have these silly little storylines, like the whole corruption thing. Like, I don't know if you guys know much about corruption, but it was like the red crimson high fae. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, this stuff. And it was like corruption. Oh, it's a disease created by assassin labs and it spreads and intoxicates the mind. And we had like funny little lore like that that was like so quirky and interesting and I loved it. Anime styles. Wow, I completely forgot about anime styles. Honestly, a lot of stuff we only had for a limited amount of time. That all the stuff left an impact, but wow, we had lots of stuff. I don't remember Condesico. This must have been Condesimo's area. Condesimo was a very interesting stuff because he appeared and then disappeared. Like I still occasionally message him like once a year, like trying to see if he's alive because I haven't heard a thing from him. He just vanished and I don't know where he went. But and I got a little bit worried about it because he just vanished, didn't say a word, couldn't contact him, and yeah. But wow. This one was Kajin's office. He during this time, I think Kajin was very obsessed with State Farm. I think it was. I don't know much about State Farm because that's an American thing, but yeah, there was like some sort of fascination there. And this one was Lab Fox's office. Awesome pants. He had elevators. Now this was interesting because this was the first office we allowed to be like above ground. And I was a little bit hesitant because I was like, ooh, people can see this. It's less hidden. But no, it turned out well, and it looks good too. See, a lot of StealthCraft was like, I don't want people to know about this area because this was where we had commands originally. Like back over here, like where this is, used to be like command blocks which had announcements, which were kind of like join the Discord server, stuff like that. But we don't do that. We got rid of that in StealthCraft because it's kind of tacky. I felt it was kind of tacky. I felt like it was kind of like obnoxious in a way. I understand some servers still do that. I don't agree with it personally because it's kind of annoying. But yeah. Now this was Matt 383's office. Matt 383 had the coolest office because Matt 383 made the particles and everything for StealthCraft. So he had little particles that ran up these lines and an awesome door. Obviously, he doesn't have that anymore because I had to get rid of the packs because they don't work anymore. But this was cool. And his office had a dark mode and light mode. Like he'd throw a block and all this would change to white. Oh yeah, and he had this thing. I'm pretty sure it still works. If I throw a block, yeah, it just gets sucked up there until it despawns. Such cool stuff. He had lots of cool things, and this was all his rewards because the staff team had staff members of the month, which was every month people could become staff member of the month, and every year there was a staff member of the year for the previous year. Now, what was these other ones? Oh yes, owner, because we had co-owners, but Matt was the first person to become an owner of StealthCraft, which was very cool. Oh yeah, build leader. I put him in charge of all the buildings. I put so much pressure on Matt, and I just feel so bad because Matt pretty much came to the team after being recommended by a different staff member, and he started off doing simple things, but then I saw how good he was at things, so I put more responsibilities on him. And after a while, he just started learning new things. He started learning particles, sound effects, packs for StealthCraft. And before I knew it, I was putting every single workload on top of him, and I kind of crushed him with it. And I don't know, I feel very bad about that still. Coolest stick I found. He used to have a stick that he said, "Cool stick I found." Oh, and he kept track of his productive days in a row. That's right. Reviews of his office. Oh, my ender chest. Let's see what's in my ender chest. It's been a while. Okay, let's see what all these things are. So, snowballs, that's because of this. These snowballs let me do a few things, like I can teleport through walls, kind of. I can throw it, and it lets me go to the um what am I thinking? The warp room. That's what I'm thinking. Also, when I throw this, it now lets me pick people up and throw them. So it's kind of like a handcuff tool. So if someone's in front of me, I pick them up and I move them. I'm gonna throw that again. But yeah, that was cool. The wax stick, knockback 32. I've got some signs here, some command blocks. All these with data, so I don't know what they were, but they had things on them. Looks like some different stuff. Antique signs, so I'm guessing those were copied signs. Productiver than Matt. Wow. What a, I loved StealthCraft. Oh yeah, I remember. If you went behind Matt's desk and you didn't have a certain tag, you got spun and like killed. It's terrible. I'm pretty sure this gave sparklers. Yeah, that's right. Oh, and here's the moving thing. Yeah. I loved Matt's office. Did this do anything? Oh, it does. Where am I? Well, I'm in the warp room. Okay. I was like, does this do anything? And then got absolutely decimated. So yeah, this was the entrance to the staff cave. It was like right behind spawn 1.0 in this like little cave. It was very interesting. And we had the Rainbow Road. I don't know who started this, but it just continued. But yeah, that was Matt's office. This was Howling Name MLG's office. I think he changed his name, but that's what he was at the time. He had this red X on his door that I put here because on Roblox there was like this serious red X face or something. But I thought that was kind of funny, and it was funny at the time. His office was kind of like an SCP sort of vibe. Now, there were a lot of things with people's offices where it was like, I used to run around their walls as rats. So I don't know if that happened, but yeah. What's this? I don't know what that button is, but that button exists. Does it have a command block? No, it doesn't. Okay. Anyways. Oh yeah, and the black skulls were cameras. That's right. Now this office, I don't know whose office this was. I can't picture it in my head. I have no clue. I have no clue whose office this is. But I remember if you walked there, you got teleported really far away, so I'm not going to walk there because I can't be bothered. But I'm pretty sure there was nothing there. No office here. Oh, no office here? No office here. Okay. This one was Flying Monkey's office. Shout out to Flying Monkey if he ever comes back to YouTube. He's been trying for a long time, but hasn't done it. I remember he changed his office like 18 times because he couldn't work out what design he wanted. But it was cool. This one was Arlo's office. He had a huge office. He did some cool things. I thought it was cool at least. He was like trying to like imitate Assassin's Lab. So he was trying to like do experiments and stuff because that was my law was that I did experiments. So he started doing experiments and that was cool. Dimension 35. See. I know. I'm pretty sure there was only one room. Yeah, there was only this room, the boiler room. Now the boiler room had particles, but the particles are obviously disabled at this point. I'm not sure anyone's even here watching this, but if you have watched this far into the video or into the live stream, depending on when you're watching this, shout out to you. Because I imagine this is pretty boring, but for some people, like StealthCraft staff and people who were actively involved in StealthCraft, this might be pretty cool to kind of revisit this. Now, this was for Nav's base. He created like a corruption sort of monster thing, and I thought that was cool. Popcorn Man. I think he was trying to make a cinema. Then down here, there was nothing else, but yeah, it was very nifty. I'm pretty sure this was someone's base, but all they put was a amethyst. Anyways, but yeah, that's the StealthCraft Staff Cave. We are ready to move on to the next area. So, next we'll go to the Spawn 1.0. Now, this was Spawn 1.0. Now, this Spawn 1.0 changed a lot, but the whole idea was like, this is where it started. This is where StealthCraft started. Now, after a while, this changed to an event sort of spawn. So the original idea for StealthCraft was minigames, plots, and roleplay. Roleplay we spent a lot of time working on, but never finished. Minigames obviously became the main premise of StealthCraft, and plots, that was a dead project that never got anywhere. But yeah, after a while, this became sort of like an event spawn. Like we made this Christmassy at Christmas, we made it Halloweeny at Halloween, but then after a while, we made individual spawns for those events. So I'll show you those in a minute. Now, over here, these used to be like the credit rooms, like info room, coming soon, like most things in StealthCraft. Rules. We definitely could have done better with the rules. Credits. I don't think there was much in here. Oh, there was a little bit. Wow. Okay, this is from a long time ago. Here's some names. Crabs. Oh, when StealthCraft started, it was me, Crabs, Ollie, Delta, FNAV, and was it FNAV? Yeah, it was FNAV. And Triforce Alex. Galaxy Wolf, Pixel, RK, K-Craft, Delta Wolf. That's RK's old. Condesimo, he became our head detective. I don't remember how that happened, but that was cool. Ling, wow. The past. It's crazy. It's crazy to think how far you come. Hall of partners. We didn't have many partners. But yeah, and then these were just like random little offshoots that were like kind of random things. We had lots of random things. This was animations for a moving helicopter because we used to have a helicopter above spawn. This helicopter over here, and it used to carry the StealthCraft sign, but during the event it carried a nuke. Yeah. Mr. C. Mr. C was the overarching villain in StealthCraft. There was a lot of lore that was going to happen with him, but obviously we didn't get to complete that, unfortunately. Maybe one day if we ever bring it back. Oh, and this was just random buildings people made, but it was kind of cool. We had like a little sort of area down here that people made under spawn. Some of the command blocks. Someone made like a whole town down here, but obviously nothing ever came of that. It's so fun to revisit all this stuff. Oh, and then over here was like the suggestions room where people could leave their suggestions. I remember down here. Yeah, let's see if there was anything. Oh, there are things. Let's go through these. Okay, so this was the throw section, and this was the keep section. What were the keep ones? Let's have a look. Ooh. Parkour survival, more maps and plots. Interesting. Bruh, this game's so good. Okay. Llama. Fixed tier 2 one. Okay, great. What were the throw ones? Let's just pick up one random one. Um, Event, please, and Neosci. Okay, let's see what this please is. Let me nuke the server, please. Okay. This one's very official. Wyvo. Okay, nice. Yeah, interesting stuff. But yeah. Rats. Okay, and then up above StealthCraft, over here was the whole sheep thing. I don't know if you guys ever watched the sheep videos back in the day, but we were making like a new castle for the sheep video because I was going to do like a part 4 or whatever. Yeah, the sheep days. Ugh. Over here was a new spawn that was being built. That's right, we were making a new spawn. That was that awesome pants building. That was the end. Up here was a copy of the StealthCraft helicopter. Down there you can see like a little corruption mountain I made. So the custom terrain, that wasn't made by us. That was a map on MCP That's what started StealthCraft on. Some of the terrain we made ourselves, obviously, but most of it was just automatically here. Now this was the command house. This is where we did a lot of our commands that keep things going. What's this? Another troll. You join the realm. Great. What were all these commands? Invis tag? Okay, cool, cool. Because we did a lot with tags. Tags were kind of our whole thing. Oh, these were some of the old particle trails back in the day. Particle trails were very cool. Um, Oh, these were the bibbles and the warp sticks, which were these things, the tridents and stuff I was telling you about. What's this? Particle gun, do not touch. This was my vacation home originally. I think this was going to be another office. I loved having offices. And then here were my trolls, I'm pretty sure. What were these? Awesome, dude. Assassin. Is this Matt, I guess? No, Ralph. Wow. Back in the day. Then, yeah, glitch. What's this one? Yeah, the trails. Wow. Awesome stuff. And then, what's this? I don't know what that is, but that exists. Alright, let's continue on. So, over there's a random hole that I made. Why? I don't know. I got bored a lot. I wasn't very productive on StealthCraft, but man, did I do random things. Over here was the big nuke. And then this was the old roleplay room, which turned into the cosmetic room. So the idea behind these was each of these doors would be a roleplay area. Like this one was the main roleplay area. But yeah, each of these is going to be a roleplay area. But obviously that was very ambitious, so that idea died very quickly. But yeah, cosmetics were over here. This was back in the day when we only had like 8 cosmetics. You'd earn these through like events and stuff, but yeah, they were pretty cool. What's over here? Oh, here was some other cosmetics. Hold up, baby. But yeah, this was definitely back in the day where cosmetics were different. Wow, absolute childhood over here. The regular nuke. But yes, we've got a lot to go through, so I'll try to speed up a bit. Otherwise, we might just make this a 2-part thing where we go through a lot of different things of StealthCraft. We might make this a multiple part if people are interested. We'll go over here to the roleplay area. Now, the roleplay area will take a bit of time because it's huge. Now, this was one of the first things we worked on in StealthCraft because we were like, roleplay area, but we didn't do anything with it because it never got really completed per se. But it was definitely underway. It actually looks kind of cool now that I'm looking at it. Coolish. A lot of it's a bit, ooh, but yeah. So the roleplay area started as just a giant piece of grass. That was it. A giant piece of grass. And it started over here. Right here's where it started. Here were the jobs. Medieval Kingdom roleplay area, 250 by 250. One person had the job of Dark Forest, one person had the massive custom mountain range, and one person had the river. And I said, make sure to leave room for castles. Obviously, that's not very helpful. That whole thing there was why this whole thing failed. I didn't manage anything. I set this up for pretty much failure at that point. And obviously, it never got anywhere, as you can clearly tell. Like, it got somewhere. I'm not saying it didn't get anywhere, but it was such a long process, and it got nothing done. But yeah, there's lots of like hidden things in the mountains, like there was this area. This guy had a skull. Don't know why the skull was gone, but this area. Oh, 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 let me out. Thank you. But yes, there was lots of cool things. Like over here, there was like the volcano that they chuck the ring into, and I'm pretty sure if you fall at the right spot, yeah, there we go. The Dwarf King's Throne. Love that. And over here, I believe, if you go down, there is a tree in here. And I remember someone explaining this to me, and I thought it was the coolest thing. They were like, yeah, there's a seed there, and it grew because of this hole in the mountain where the sun comes in. I'm like, that's kind of cool. I love that little storytelling. It's storytelling that nobody would ever understand or think about, but it was storytelling nonetheless. Now, and I'm pretty sure over here there was a dragon somewhere. Gotta find the way into the dragon. I don't remember the way. It's been a long time. I may just break a hole in. Up over here. Yeah, here we go. This was a dragon of sorts. A very squished dragon at this point. And then these towns. These were built by a few different people. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I liked this. I had hopes for this. I think after a while, I was thinking we'd turn this into a little map of sorts for one of the mini games. I remember the castle was the hardest part. This little like castle thing. It was meant to be a castle. It didn't turn out as a castle. But I remember like trying to get someone to build the castle was the hardest thing ever. That's why there's so many like little forts and stuff around. Because I used to give the job to like so many different people. Also, I don't know how this happened, but random chunks of just regular terrain spawned in. It was something with the file. I think the word got corrupted at one point. But yeah, there's like many different castles around. Like down there, there's a castle. But that's because we were trying to get people to build this castle for so long. It was a nightmare. And then over here was the sort of what's the word? Area where buildings were built. It like hanging area. I think that little minecart there was me. I'm pretty sure I just sat there a lot of the time. Loved that. Over here was the second roleplay area because we were already planning a second one, even though we hadn't finished the first one, obviously. Smart thinking me. Um, but this was the Wild West sort of theme. Some of these buildings looked pretty cool. I feel like we could have pulled off the Wild West one, but yeah. And then this one, I don't remember what this was. What do you say? Catapult Smithery. Oh yeah, I see it. I see it. But yeah, that's the roleplay area though. Pretty nifty. Pretty nifty. Obviously, there is a lot I could go through in the roleplay area, but I'm not going to. Like this was a bandit camp. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't really want to go through the whole thing, but there is a lot there. If you guys want me to, I can, but I won't do it today. Just because we got a lot to cover. Over here was McDonald's, that's right. There was a McDonald's here. And this here, blown up structure, was my statue. Now, there's a statue of Assassin Age 05 that a lot of people know. They made a woman version of it, so I blew it up. Blew it up, burnt it, gone, never to be seen again. Oh, what's this? There's a menu. What's on the menu? Nice. But yeah, that was the Macca's. The staff did a lot of random things. I was one of the people who did a lot of random things, but I was not responsible for the Maccas, I can tell you that much. The Maccas was Red X Argyle and timing. Timing Fawn. But yes, okay, what's next? What's next on the list of things that I need to show? Well, I don't need to show anything, but I'm showing it all. Well, not all of it, but most of it. Let's go to the infected maps. So, over here was the new infected map, because infected was something we wanted to add. Well, infected was a game mode we had, but we had a few issues with it. So this terrain here was originally already here, but we were transforming it, like these houses were already here as part of the custom terrain, but we were transforming it a bit to make it playable for infected. Now, infected was one of our game modes that had a few issues, but it was still fun. Infected was over here. Basically, the premise was one person starts as the infected and has to infect everyone else, except there was no way for the survivors to win. And that kind of, and it was one of those games where like you just click the button to end it. It wasn't like a game that automatically timed out or anything. Yeah, someone would click this button and it would end it. So there were a few breakages with it, but it was still a very fun mini game, and I wish we devoted a bit more time into kind of polishing that and using that for our sort of future in a way. But we didn't, so RIP, I guess. All right, let's continue on. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find the, if I remember correctly, over here-ish, there should be a few different cool things. There it is. Spawn 2.0. Now, Spawn 2.0 was kind of like our attempt at revitalizing StealthCraft. This spawn was trash. It was trash because we spent so much time on it, but it was just an open space pretty much. Like, I like the idea of an open space, but it was kind of, imagine you first spawn in. You spawn in, what do you see? You see rainbow, giant statue, and grass. It kind of is just empty, which kind of, looking back on it, it's a bit weird, but we were working on it, as you can see by these clear signs. Now, these were the minigames, portals, the role-playing cosmetics. We'll go through those. We'll go through those. This was the assassin statue. Inside my head was my little room, I guess you could say. There were bones in my legs. Don't know why. But yeah, this existed. Oop, let me up, let me up. There we go. There was also the under part where we did some sort of lore thing. Can't remember what, but it existed. Over here, these were all assassin heads. This button was the secret staff button that took us back to the warp room. It only worked for staff, so it didn't matter if people found it. Over here was the tavern. The well. Inside the well was a little parkour area, I believe. Yeah, a little parkour area. And a few tunnels. Over there was the statue of Arthur Lancaster. This was kind of like a bit of lore. which used to be where Assassin's Lab was. Over here was like a sort of castle that was being rebuilt over time slowly. Here was a bit of like ruined village. There was lore here, but the lore was kind of so inconspicuous that nobody paid attention. Now, under here is the Pumpkin Palace. Now, I'm going to go into spectator mode for this and just fly around real quickly, just to make this really quick, because I'm realizing that we're already at like 50 minutes and I don't want to spend too much time on this video. So yeah, under spawn there was this massive labyrinth built by Ralph, and it's just huge. Huge. Why did anyone spend any time on this? I don't know. But huge. And there was lore, and there were like chairs, and the chairs were fighting each other, the blue chairs versus the red chairs. And it was huge. And it was fun. It was fun. I'm not going to deny that. The giant hole of fire was me. I like to just like do the respawn anchors all the way down. And then even further down, Howling made a little lab of sorts again with nukes and stuff, and it was going against me because they were the rebellion against Assassin. And that was very cool too. Now, just to continue on a bit further, we're gonna run out of spawn real quick. Because I believe just over this way is a few other things I gotta show. We are gonna wrap this up soon and call it a day. Meaning this can be a two-part if you guys want to see more, if you want to know more about the newer StealthCraft stuff. But yeah, these are unedited videos. These are just raw footage of StealthCraft. Many of these videos are pretty bad, not gonna lie. Can you really call these videos? I don't know. Where am I? I think I'm gonna go back into creative. Yeah, so you go into creative and then you get a bit more render distance. Crazy. Okay, over there is the prison. Some staff just randomly were like, let's build a prison. So we have a prison. And there was lore there. We were going to do like an assassin escapes prison sort of video. Over here was one of my favorite projects. I actually really like this. This was the new Halloween spawn update. Now, the reason this never got finished was it was me, Matt, and another staff member working on this, Light Biscuit. Me and Light Biscuit, oh, we fought a lot, randomly for no reason. And obviously that just caused this to never get finished. Oh, and I think Pixel, GA, and Pro Trumper were working on this, and obviously I fought with them a lot, so I think a lot of people actually worked on this. So many people tried working on this, but it never got finished. But it was cool, and I was very excited for it. Like this parkour was fun. And pretty much the Halloween spawns were how you earn your particle trails. Like you do things in these and you get a different particle trail, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But yes, I was excited for that, and that never got finished, so I was a bit disappointed, but it happens, you know. It happens a lot with StealthCraft. You start things, but it doesn't finish. Now, that there is the resistance base. They were resisting Assassination 05, so they made like a little bunker where they were like fighting me, and yeah, it was cool and it was fun. Obviously, never turned into a video, never turned into anything, but it's just a fun little thing. Fun little lore that was going on in StealthCraft that nobody knew about. Over here was one of our planned games. Now, this is little secret insider information. This was going to be released later on after Respawn update. This was Corruption Chase, which kind of added my premise of corruption, but it was like tag. So the idea was one person's the corrupted. It was kind of like infected and tag combined and hot potato. One person was the infected and the others were survivors, and they had to try and run around whilst the corrupted had to find someone, hit them, tagging them, making them the corrupted, and whoever is the corrupted at the end obviously loses and dies, and then it just keeps going till only one person remains. Pretty much as simple as that. And we had custom music for it, and the custom music was cool. I loved the custom music we had going on. It was awesome. But yeah, this was like a big version of the map, and then over here, this was the original map, which was kind of smaller, slightly. It looks very similar, but pretty much they just added an extra level and were making it bigger, which is pretty cool. Now, all of this was what we called the mini game C, because we kept all the mini games here, and this is kind of where we did everything. So if you want an um in-depth look at all these other stuff, let me know, because this is where I'm going to wrap up the video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you watch this, this was like an hour of just me running around rambling. Honestly, if you watch this far, congrats to you. I wouldn't, but yeah. Anyways, I do want to make a comeback to YouTube. I don't know what I'm going to come back with. I'm thinking a Scuff Survival like series, which will be edited. This isn't edited, but those will be edited. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're at or new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Assassinate that like button or whatever I used to say. Yeah. And I may bring back a Discord. Obviously, there won't be a Discord server in the description for this. The description will probably be empty. But I may bring back a new Discord. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And stay stealthy, I think is what I used to say. How do I stop this? How do I stop this?